Welcome to the Sunken Ledger. Here, we chart the ocean's darkest tales of lost souls, cursed ships, and ancient legends. Tonight, we travel back to a foggy dawn on the St. Lawrence River to uncover the forgotten tragedy of the RMS Empress of Ireland. It was the early hours of May 29th, 1914. The Empress of Ireland, a proud ocean liner of the Canadian Pacific Fleet, was making her final preparations for another transatlantic journey. She was a magnificent ship, over 500 feet long, with grand dining rooms and elegant promenades, carrying dreams and ambitions across the ocean. On board that morning were 1,477 souls, families returning home, laborers seeking opportunity, missionaries bound for distant lands. As the Empress steamed downriver, the river's fog thickened, swallowing the ship in an eerie gray silence. Only the muffled clang of the engine and the distant echo of the river's currents filled the air. Captain Henry Kendall, a seasoned mariner, peered through the fog from the bridge. His ship was making steady progress, her powerful engines churning the dark water beneath her hull. But another vessel was out there too, the Norwegian collier SS Storstad, loaded with coal, navigating the same narrow channel. As the Empress and the Storstad drew closer, they exchanged fog signals, long, mournful blasts of the whistle that vanished into the thick night air. Each ship tried to gauge the other's position in the blinding fog, but the river was a place of treachery that night. At 1:56 a.m., the ships finally emerged from the swirling mist, too close, too fast. The Storstad's iron bow slammed into the Empress's starboard side, tearing a massive gash in her hull. The impact was so violent that passengers were thrown from their bunks, their cries echoing through the corridors. Water poured in at a terrifying speed, flooding the lower decks within minutes. Panic swept the Empress like wildfire. The once grand hallways became rivers of water as passengers struggled to find their way to the upper decks. The ship listed sharply to starboard, trapping hundreds below deck in the cold, black water. Captain Kendall gave the order to abandon ship, but the Empress was already doomed. Lifeboats on the port side couldn't be launched because of the ship's sharp list. Mothers clutched their children, praying for rescue, as crew members struggled to free the few lifeboats that could still be launched. Within just 14 minutes, the Empress of Ireland slipped beneath the St. Lawrence River, her once proud funnels vanishing into the icy depths. The river's surface closed over her like a coffin lid, leaving nothing but the swirling fog and the screams of the survivors in the water. Of the 1,477 souls on board, 1,012 were lost. Fathers, mothers, children, all gone to the cold river in the span of minutes. The sinking of the Empress of Ireland stands as one of the deadliest maritime disasters of its time, yet it soon faded from public memory as the world's attention turned to the looming storm of war. The survivors were pulled from the river by small boats and passing steamers, shivering, terrified, many clad in nothing but nightshirts. They watched in horror as the cold river claimed their friends and loved ones, their cries echoing across the water until the fog swallowed them whole. In the days that followed, bodies washed up along the river banks, silent witnesses to a disaster few would remember. Whole families were lost, entire communities in mourning. But soon, the world's focus shifted elsewhere, and the Empress of Ireland was left to sleep in the cold darkness of the riverbed. Today, the wreck of the Empress of Ireland rests 130 feet below the surface, a silent testament to the lives lost that night. Divers say her ghostly form still rises from the riverbed, cabins preserved like frozen memories, her once grand halls now the domain of fish and shadows. Some say the river still whispers their names on foggy mornings, or that the chill in the air is the breath of the souls who never escaped. In the quiet of dawn, when the river is calm and the fog hangs low, You can almost hear the faint strains of music from the grand saloon, or the soft cries of children lost to the dark water. Thank you for listening to the Sunken Ledger. Subscribe for more true tales from the depths.